certainly in the Midwest. Yeah, it really gets around.
That's a pretty unique little car.
Sports utility vehicles.
Yeah, it's one of the more original sport utility vehicles.
Micro sports utility.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique car.
Take a beetle to the Badlands, take a Ford to Florida, take a Caddy to Calico, take a Plymouth to Plymouth, take a Chevy through the Delta, take a coupe to Guadalupe, take a Toyota to Dakota, take a hearse to heaven. To my people on the East Coast, in the land I love the most, go ahead, you deserve to boast. Talk about to my people on the West Coast, many a good host, I offer this toast.
This irrigator, what they're doing is pumping water out of the alluvial material of the river bottom as a well and putting it back on the crops. Every time we have to wait for somebody. I drove it at 72 miles an hour. It's a neat little machine. We put larger tires on the back to improve the gear ratio. Since they jumped up the horsepower, we figured it was fair to jump up the ratio.
Crazy Horse is the largest sculpture in the world, on a scale higher than the Washington Monument or the tallest Egyptian pyramid. Overall, the Crazy Horse Colossus will be 563 feet high and 641 feet long.
It's a nice little car. We've got rigged up so we can tow it behind the motorhome.
Oh, do you? Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. I said, we're driving a motorhome, we're getting 7 miles to the gallon, so.
This is getting 60.
60, isn't that something? That's great.
Korchak felt both the glory and the tragedy of the Native American were reflected in Crazy Horse's short life and death. His sculpture shows Crazy Horse declaring proudly, "My lands are where my dead lie buried."
You know, there's an old saying, when the legends die, the dreams end. And when the dreams end, there is no more greatness.
Is a wonderful fuel, but it's very, very high in carbon and carbon dioxide. If we were to change our railroads back to coal-fired locomotives, it would take 5 times the number of diesel locomotives. The coal-fired engine is 1/5 the strength of the diesel engine. These are oil well pumps. One in the rear, further away, is not running at the present time. A lot of wells have been capped, depending on the price of oil, but eventually all of them are going to be exhausted. Originally, the Spindletop oil field, Spindletop well, was a great gusher and produced 100,000 barrels of oil a day, just blown up into the air. And most oil sources are not that powerful, and now we're more required to pump stuff out than wait for it to spurt into the sky. So it's harder to come by. The oil fields are getting smaller. How do you do?
How do you do? My name's John Michael. I'm from
Hi,
Wales
John.
in the UK, and I just cannot believe I'm seeing a Robin Reliant in this part of the world.
With the Royal Automobile
With the
Club
RAC,
sticker.
with the RAC as well. I can't believe it. How did you get it over here? I mean, look, you must have shipped it, of course, but
Well, I'm fascinated by the frame and the engine
right.
and the ratios. It's a very, very simple, very, very straightforward, just a splendid automobile. The people who work on it here love it
Do they?
because everything makes sense.
Well, amazing. A friend of mine had one of these, and he frightened me to death. He would go up the motorways at home at a steady 70 miles an hour in this, and you think there's only one wheel at the front, you know? And he used to frighten me to death.
Who taught these idiots to drive?
Who taught these idiots to drive?
Who taught them the speed limit was really 95? Last time someone yielded here, it was 1945. Who taught these idiots to drive?
Can I fill it up for you, sir?
Yeah, with the irregular
Does the oil need checking?
How
about your tire pressure?
You do tire pressure here?
Sure.
We got supercomputer intelligence. We got no more room for the elephants. We're real hot stuff. We're real killer dealers. Taking pot shots at the last gorillas. Too many people.
We burn our own weight in oil every week. This year, at 195 pounds, that amounts for the whole year to 10,000 pounds of oil that I'm responsible for. Some of it in engines, some of it in plastics.
Just a boy, my father sat me on his knee, explained to me how engines work with great simplicity. A piston, it moves up and down inside a metal tube. All it takes is coolant and a little bit of glue. The gasoline explosion gives us power, gives us sound. In turn rotates the drive shaft, and that makes the wheels go round. It's really rather simple, it's not voodoo to the wise. But I still think mechanics are witch doctors in disguise.
I'm just going to look under the hood.
Because I'm auto-mechanically declined. Auto-mechanically declined. With an automatic or stick, either way I'm up a creek. I'm auto-mechanically declined.
Quiet it, Ron.
This is cool. Oh, look, and it's got 800 pounds.
Motorcycle license?
understand this lake out here's got salt water in it. Is that true?
That's what they say.
Okay.
That means salt water to salt water.
Jim was figuring 3,888 miles a while back. I don't know whether he's still got that or not, but maybe a little bit more. So almost 4,000 miles. And poor little Robin is held together. It's still got a fragile universal joint, but I think that's about the only thing wrong with it. Did very, very well. It's a good car. Proud of it. Nice car. Nice car.
Jim, do you think it was going to make it?
Absolutely. Of course, it kept us guessing right to the last second, but it worked out well. Worked out well. It just wanted to get here as badly as we did.
Well, you have to be a clown to drive 3,888 miles just to see different salt water with a different name on it. We started Atlantic, we're now at Pacific. We're all clowns.